Hey guys, welcome back to Caffeinated Comic Books. I am your host, the King of Caffeine, Monarch of the Mocha, and Ruler of the Roast, and today we are getting into The Amazing Mary Jane, #1. Now, this is a book that I didn't initially intend on picking up with the purposes of actually reading through. I ordered the Jeff Scott Campbell exclusive variants through his online store just because I love getting signed Campbell stuff. But I decided, what the hell? It might be an easy roast. Because, let's be honest, we probably all would have expected this to be a pretty heavily, wham and power, go Powerpuff Girls type of a book. Honestly, that's not the case. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely baffled. But in a good way. This book was actually a pretty fun read. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not playing here. I'm keeping it 100 with you. So why does this book exist? First off, right? This book exists because for those of you who have been following along with with Nick Spencer's run on Amazing Spider-Man, we're in like the 32nd or 33rd issue now, as of I think last week for that. Peter and MJ are back together. That was established in issue 1 of Nick Spencer's run, which was a good starting point. It set the tone. The run has been kind of hot and cold, but one thing that's remained constant is that MJ and Pete are back together again. Now, this is really important for those of us that are true diehard Spidey fans. It had to happen. Also, Humberto Ramos did an awesome cover. I'm a huge fan of his interiors. He's my favorite interior artist for The Amazing Spider-Man. But I had to get me this Art Germ cover. Look at this gorgeous, noir style. That is stunning. I love it. With the tight curls on the hair. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And there's a reason why it has kind of this golden age noir Hollywood vibe to it. Because if you read the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man, MJ got offered a role in a film. That the role was written explicitly for her. It sounds shady, because it is shady, and we're going to find out why in a second here. So let's get into this. We kick it off with MJ beating the snot out of a handful of villains. Spidey villains, right? We got Kraven here. We've got Doc Ock here, old fat Doc Ock, not current Superior Spider-Man Doc Ock, which is, in my opinion, some people don't like it. I find it to be an entertaining book, but I like that he's very, very different from Peter. Too many of the Spider characters are just kind of, you could throw them all in the wash and they come out the same. But she's going up against these guys. She's got kind of this nice, skin-tight leotard going on. I mean, let's be honest here. I'm gonna be honest. I expected the story to be woke as hell, Powerpuff Girls, go whammon team, we hate all men type of a narrative for the book, and I expected the art to be like fat ass squirrel girl, bucktooth garbage, because that's how Marvel portrays women. I don't understand it. They're all about female empowerment. They're all about, women getting a leg up. But they don't believe in women looking attractive? I don't understand it. It seems to be one of the biggest constants with Marvel books in current year. I don't think... What's his name that writes this? Or that does the art for this? I'm going to have to find his name on one of the upcoming pages. I don't think he got the memo. I don't think he realized this. No, we don't draw beautiful women here at Marvel anymore. That's not what we're supposed to do. Well, he didn't get that memo, and praise the baby Jesus that he didn't, because this is gorgeous art. And jumping back to the narrative portion, the one line out of the entire book, really, there's only really one line that comes across as oh wow, maybe this is going to be a little bit of a Wham Powers book, is MJ makes a remark about, why am I fighting in this skin-tight outfit that is torn multiple times already. So it's even that's justifiable. It's practical. It's a practical complaint, right? Give me something. I mean, Spidey wears a skin-tight outfit, but his is made of materials resistant to tearing, except for, we won't get into that. But it's that, and she brings up her character really has zero development in the plot and in the script for this film. And that's it. That's as woke as this book gets. You might think I'm bullshitting you. I'm not. I couldn't believe it myself. But it's a really basic story. There's nothing crazy about it. She goes to confront the writer-director, and is like, hey, I feel like my character needs a bit more development. The lines, my dialogue are super surface level, really weak. Give me something better, or I'm out. I'm gonna take a hike, or because you're giving me nothing to work with here. I'm better than this, which is true. MJ is an accomplished model, actress, ran a company, etc. So she's done all these things. She has all these accolades, and she does deserve better, and she knows it. She's the actual definition of a strong female character, but that's because she's worked her way there. It's justified, all of it. And when she confronts the guy, he reveals that it's actually Mysterio, rocking the bowl cut. And she's like, wait, hold up now. What are you doing here? Am I seriously working with a bunch of supervillains? And he gives her this whole sob story of, yeah, I had to disguise myself. The actual dude, I forget his name, it's not important. The actual writer-director that I'm impersonating, I sent him off on some nature deal, and he's scoping out penguins. He's totally fine. He's safe. No harm's gonna come to him. And then he breaks it down like, I need you in order to do this. I want to leave this world someday having accomplished something good. Now, whether he's full of crap or not, that's neither here nor there. But she ends up biting. She's like, all right, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm in. But look at this. Look, we've got gorgeous art all throughout the book. There's practically not a single panel where MJ doesn't look like Bombshell Mary Jane Watson, which is part of her character. She's supposed to be strong-willed, she's supposed to be intelligent, she's supposed to be immensely talented, but all of that is supposed to be wrapped under her looking smoking. It's part of it. People can have a problem with that. People could say, oh, caffeinated, you're being a misogynist. Screw off. MJ is supposed to be hot. Get over it. Some women are. It's just how it's supposed to be. She says, all right, I'll bite, after he shows her, all right, he's good. No harm's going to come to the guy. But she throws down some stipulations. She said, can't believe I'm going to do this. This is insane. I'm in. But, we're going to work my lines, because this ain't good enough. This isn't going to fly. I'm better than this. He's like, all right, follow me, walk with me. He shows her around all the different sets, what they're working with, breaks down how he got some of these crew. Most of them are actually criminals, hardened criminals, but they're doing an honest work, right? They're not committing any crimes right now. And he's like, if I had, tried to pitch this script as my actual self and not as this guy's disguise as Blondie here, there's no chance in hell I would have gotten the funding for this thing. It would not happen. But there's some funny lines in here. Not a hell of a lot happens in this book. I'm going to say that up front. Not a heck of a lot happens in this book. It's a lot of walking around and talking around. But there's some decent dialogue. And there's actually some funny dialogue as well. He's talking about, they're going back and forth, right? And MJ's bringing up things that could happen for development for her character throughout the course of the film, and putting in some undertones there. And they're kind of going back and forth. And he's saying, oh, yeah, and this will help flesh out the actual main character as well. And he's like, well, there's some things we wouldn't have time for. And MJ's like, oh, Do I hear spin-off sequel? Just funny things like that. It's a fun book. I'm not gonna lie. I wish there was just a teeny bit more action, but honestly, given what I was expecting and what I got, I'm not really gonna complain. I was expecting an easy roast. I was expecting I'm gonna throw this, or I'm gonna donate it, or whatever. But gorgeous interiors. I cannot wait to get my signed Campbell variant copies. If you haven't seen them already, they're different decades iterations of MJ. They're gorgeous covers. Absolutely gorgeous covers. I can't wait. But back to this book. Back to the interiors. So going through the set, and this is where the book shined, I think, its best. And I'll give credit where credit's due. Leah Williams, she's written some absolute garbage tier books. Absolute garbage tier. But this is a solid start. So if the rest of this miniseries, I forget how many issues it's supposed to be, I think it's a 6 issue. If it maintains this tone, I'm cool with it. I'm going to read it all the way through. So she gives Pete a call, and he's in the middle of fending off the city from nonsense. And this is stuff we don't get in comics anymore. And this is a good dynamic scene, too. I love what's going on here. But they're flirting over the phone, right? They're a young couple. They're in their, I forget if they're in their mid or late 20s or early 30s at this point. I cannot remember canonically what the deal is supposed to be with that. That's one of the issues with Marvel never truly rebooting their universes. Now, DC kind of tends to over-reboot, so there's the other side of the spectrum there. But they're a young couple, right? And they're flirting over the phone. He's like, hey, I'm shirtless and wearing the tightest leather pants you can imagine. What are you wearing? This is good stuff. This is good stuff. And it's good because, unfortunately, Nick Spencer, I can't show the rest of it. There's one more scene where they kind of dancing with each other over the phone. It's kind of cute, not going to lie. But for the copyright gods, we're going to not get our channel struck, right? Let's avoid that. But Nick Spencer, even though he brought the relationship back to bear, he hasn't really put much focus on it. And while that doesn't need to be the centerpiece for what he's building in his run, I do feel like he needs to have a bit more focus put on the relationship between Pete and MJ, because as it stands, it feels like, okay, they're back together, and that's it. He hasn't done anything with it, really. There was this cool little sidebar story that he was doing for a little while that just went nowhere, and I'm kind of frustrated, where MJ was going to these meetings. They're not like, I guess, similar fashion to AA meetings, but the point was they were set up specifically for those who are not part of the superhero community, but they're in a relationship, whether it's they're dating or married, to someone who is part of the superhero community. And that way they could hash out, their feelings of having to deal with that. Because let's be honest, and MJ could talk about it all day long. You're always being put in danger. There are times where you're having to be put second for the safety of others. And it's something that she's come to terms with and she understands, because she knows that intrinsically and deep down in Peter's heart, there's no one that takes precedent over her. And there's nothing he wouldn't do for her. And that's an important piece to remember, that she's cognizant of that. But still, you have to, on some level, deal with the idea of there are times where he's going to have to just dash off, because guess what? There's an alien invasion in New York, or the Avengers called and they need Pete's help, whatever it is. And that was a cool little side story that went nowhere, unfortunately. And that's, I think, one, I hope it comes back. But that's one of the shortcomings so far of Nick Spencer's run. And I guess, all things considered, it could be a hell of a lot worse, considering what he did with Captain America. Not going to get into that Hail Hydra nonsense. But yeah, this book was fun. I can't lie. I'm looking forward to reading the next one, looking at the next one, because, again, MJ is smoking. As she damn well ought to be. I love it. And the art just overall, not just how, who is it? Carlos Gómez. And the colors are solid too, by Carlos Lopez. So these two amigos right here, they're knocking it out of the park. This is one of the best looking books from Marvel that I have seen in ages. Absolutely ages. Outside of anything that Humberto Ramos has done. That's pretty much it. This is gorgeous work. Even freaking goofy ass Mysterio looks pretty cool here, minus the dumb bowl cut. It's just through and through. Excellent visually. And I cannot wait to check out the next one. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you think of the book. Did you pick up this book? If you did, what did you think of it? Always hit that like button, smash the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave a comment if you got a quick second, and I will catch you in the next one.